you've done it again. You've got that big client presentation in the evening, 5 o'clock. You hit the bottle last night because your buddies were over from out of town. All right, now you have yourself a hangover. What do? Well, you cook yourself some hangover friendly food. Stuff that's going to soak up that alcohol and pack you with lots of energy and vitality and just bring you back to life. So I'm going to show you today a few of my favorite go-to recipes. They're a bit comforting, they're homely, and they're well balanced in terms of nutrition. Starch, a bit of protein, a bit of grease never does you harm when you're suffering from one of those all-night hangover things. Yeah? Alright, so the first recipe that I want to do for you guys today is a Cajun glazed sausage with some sweet potato mash. Cajun spice is basically a spice that comes from Louisiana. It's packed with cumin, coriander, fennel, cloves, cinnamon, cassia, a little bit of thyme, oregano, some garlic powder, a whole mix, and it's really nice and complex. Yeah, beautiful. And nowadays you can buy it in any decent supermarket. Alright, just go down, pick up a Cajun seasoning, multi-purpose. Alright, then we've got some chicken sausages, a little bit of butter, seasoning, salt and pepper, apple juice, okay, which goes perfectly, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of sugar. Again, we're talking about balancing and bringing back all of those lost nutrients and the hydration that happens when you get a hangover, right? Now, for our mash, sweet potato, it's going to soak up all of that alcohol. For the mash, milk and a little bit of garlic, salt, pepper and some butter. Alright, this is a really quick and cool recipe and one that I'm sure you're gonna love and cook time and time again. First thing I want to do is preheat my pan. While that's happening, I'm just going to quickly julienne a couple of onions. Right, my onions are done. Now to sear those sausages. My oil is nice and hot. I'm going to start by searing our chicken sausages. Now this is probably like enough for at least 2 hungover people. So when you have a hangover, what happens is that you're suffering from dehydration. The first thing you want to do is hydrate yourself, drink lots of water. That's really one of the only things that really helps. And then as you progress and your appetite comes back, you want to grab yourself a nice meal with carbohydrates, a little bit of protein, and a little bit of spice and grease as well. Yeah, so that little bit of fat helps to replenish the body. So while our sausages are searing away, all right, developing a nice kind of caramelized crust on them, we can get down to making our sweet potato mash. You can use regular potato as well for this. If you want to use colocasia or arbi, you can try that. But personally, I really like this sweet potato with the spicy, tangy sausages. They go really, really well. Okay, nice. Look at that. Little bit of searing on that sausage, yeah. While they're happening, let's get down to our potato mash. So into my saucepan, I'm adding again just a little olive oil. Okay, so sausages coming along nicely. Pan is heating up. Now, what I want to do is get those onions into our pan with the sausages. Let them caramelize, let them char a little bit. Get down to our mash. Olive oil is nice and hot. What I've got here is a nice shakar kandi or sweet potato. Love the flavor of it. We've boiled it, just parboiled, and it's nice and soft. Look at that. Right, now into my mash, I'm just going to mince one garlic. Nothing fancy, just crush it with the blade of your knife, chop it up nice and fine, and bung it into your sweet potato. Okay, now for our seasoning, salt, same for our sausages, pepper, beautiful, look at that charring. For a little bit of grease and flavor, a little bit of butter into the mash and sausages as well. Turn down the heat and then just coat everything in that butter. So our potato has already warmed up. You can see it steaming away. I'm just going to add a touch of milk. Now for our Cajun spicing to our sausages, if you can't get your hands on a Cajun spice, add a little bit of saffka powder. You can add a little bit of cumin, a little bit of red chili powder would be fine. You want to add some warm spices, so you can add clove. If you're really feeling adventurous, though I don't recommend it after a hangover, you can even sprinkle over a little garam masala. Alright, but I'm using this lovely Cajun spicing, like I said, packed with the spices of India as well. Mash is almost done, and just leave that to keep warm. Now for that quick glaze. So we've got here some apple juice, simple store-bought apple juice. Just adding a little bit of the apple juice. Then, as is necessary for any glaze, honey, and just to balance out that sweetness, nice squeeze of lime. When you've had too much alcohol, lime is a good thing. Yeah, it starts to cut that alcohol from the system, starts to kind of balance it out. Okay, we're almost there. Sausages are done. Onions are nice and caramelized. Now, let's serve our beautiful mash and sausages. Beautiful, look at that. My Cajun glazed sausages with a nice oniony gravy and that sweet potato mash. Okay, before I dig into that, I'm going to make myself one of my favorite coffees in the world. Now, I know that caffeine is a dehydrant. Okay, it's something that dehydrates you, but I can tell you that most of us in this world hit that strong cup of coffee to get rid of that hangover. It's something about that aroma that makes us all alive and kind of awake all over again. So I'm going to make my version of a proper iced coffee. Now if you drink it like this, it is going to dehydrate you, quite frankly. Something about the aroma of coffee that just does the trick. Okay, now for my iced coffee, very, very simple. First, pick up this blender of mine. Again, this is something you can put together in a very short span of time, literally a few minutes, and that's all it's gonna take. So what I have over here is some crushed ice, okay, into my blender it goes. Next, shot of espresso. It's important that you have a proper kind of shot of coffee for this. Okay, it needs to be nice and strong and intense. Then what I have over here is some condensed milk. Lovely. Some milk. Now, if that doesn't take care of your hangover, I will have another 2 shots just for you. All right? Don't go away, because when you come back, there's lots more hangover remedies on the other side of the break.